Okay, so here's where a little bit of the fun begins. So technically you're supposed to start off to the side. Just gonna hold on to that. Don't really pulling the thread. Oops, I forgot I didn't have a knot. Okay, so here we go, starting a little bit of ways. Now we're gonna weave back and forth. And so while it might seem like you should go straight with the pointy needle, then usually your needle gets stuck. So if you put the head of the needle through, and right now you're just going through those stitches that we made, sometimes all the way through, pull that off, and I'm fine with that being like that. I might cut that or weave it in, because I'm going to leave a good amount. And then this last one. Now I just went straight through. I kind of like to do that there. You could start with the weaving part. That's how I did my other one. And now I am going to go back. So this time I'm going to go over, under, all the way back to there. Now I did that because I had to go over that stitch. And then I'm going to turn around. So that one's a little bit anchored. I'm going to sew that stitch down, and I'm going to go up to this next one. Whenever I tried this the first ever time, I never anchored my stitches. I'm going to start with under. And once I saw someone else anchor their stitches off to this side, I thought, oh, that makes so much sense. Now, I don't know that everybody does it that way, but whenever I did it, it seemed like I had a better result. Oh, my end thread got stuck over there. And I might go ahead and bring it through this last one. And so, do this a little bit more together. And then cut away and show you what it looks like later after I've woven a little bit. Especially across our hole, and see what that looks like. Toggle up back up to here. Bunch of back and forth. It's already kind of pretty. And I think once I end this blue, then I'll get into the other one. So I'm going to start over and go under, over. Now I'm in this part. Looks like I needed a... Okay, so welcome back. It's Wednesday, and hopefully you've found maybe a hole or something to mend on your space, or maybe you just cut a hole. The first time I did it, I actually cut a round hole and did this process. And maybe you have already sewn your warp and are getting ready to do the weft with me. So for this time, we're going to talk a little bit more about self-worth, and we're going to weave this piece in, and we're going to see if we can get done. So this will be a little bit shorter video today. Now, if you've noticed, I think there's going to be some spaces where I didn't get it perfectly. And while I would love to be a perfect model for you, I'm not going to be in this. But yes, so that shows you the importance as you're learning and growing and attempting to mend some of these sorts of holes in your garments or something else, that you will find your own way and find a way around some mistakes. And so I might take a little bite of this before I go across, because I'll have this space over here, so it's going to be all right. So I'm going to go ahead, and I think there might be a little space here. I'm going to take a little bite here, and I might actually just sew through, since I don't have a formal. Now this is typically, whenever I first started, I didn't have the stitching as a guide, so I just kind of did this naturally. I'm just going to kind of continue like a little running stitch across so that it can continue to do the weaving, and we'll see how that all turns out. I will say I do like the sturdiness of this wool thread, but I do find it going through a little bit of a challenge because it's scratchy, so it wants to connect to the thread, kind of attach, so it's a little bit sticky. But I don't also want to get too far away from our conversation about self-worth. I've already talked about reading the self-worth path, and I wanted to read a bit of the introduction as I'm working through this. You can watch as I'm weaving through, but this really connected with me, and maybe you hear something of yourself in this. And the author writes, those of you who, that this book is for those of you who have lived your life for others, those of you who have been the wallflowers and the people pleasers, those of you who have taken care of everyone else while secretly wishing someone would do the same for you, those of you who are nurturers to everyone in your life except yourself, those of you who have been everyone's rock, who have offered your support, your friendship, and your help to anyone who asked, those of you who have always been everything you are and all you had to offer, and more, those of you who are chameleons, changing your colors to suit those around you, to make them more comfortable in hopes that they will love and accept you. Those of you who have always known exactly which parts of yourself to suppress, hide away, or ignore to keep the machine of your life running smoothly. Those of you who have neglected yourself for your entire life, while the people in your life have been content to let you. And I listened to this book because I know that if I purchase a Kindle version and I have an Alexa, she can read it to me, and so I do audiobooks. And when I heard that list, I don't know, I think there was a part of me deep inside that didn't think it was okay to voice that, didn't even let myself think these things. My whole life has been a service to others, and if many of you who are subscribing and following me, you know that my original intent was for this to be for teachers and anyone else who needed to hear or was interested in learning these things. But the main point was to really give us some time to hear those voices in our inner beings, I guess, and to really connect with that. And so I had already decided on my word this year as self-worth, and I took the recommendation of this book, and when I heard that, I recognized, yes, I love doing what I do for my family and my job, for my students, for my friends. I love it. I find value in that. I feel good. It gives me a boost when I do those things. And at the same time, I recognize over the last several years, I was quieting some of my own needs or staying busy. And when I would pick up knitting, or I would pick up crochet, or especially hand sewing now, I would be able to just sit with some thoughts. And these things didn't come into play, and I think maybe I was afraid to let them. I valued myself in my service to others. And even this part of this video, I'm voicing this part over while you might be watching this because I felt that this was a poor representation and I wanted to be a model. I wanted this to be a model of perfection for you, a video that shows you exactly how things should be and how they should look. And I was attaching my self-worth to how well I did when I was sharing this with you, and I had to sit with that for a long time, because our self-worth doesn't have to be so sensitive. We don't have to have value in ourselves when we are perfect. The value is that I attempted to do it at all, and it's imperfect. And then the next couple of days, we've been sick in our house. I looked at it again and I realized, this does not look horrible. I was being way too hard on myself. But there are some things that, as you're watching, you probably could and should change to make your results look better and be better. And the idea is really to be mindful. So here's what it looked like at the end. And I love the colors. I like the usefulness of it. And I think I will really value the struggle and my thinking and use it to remember that I am worthy of putting myself out there and making mistakes. I don't need to be perfect all the time. I'm okay as I am. And I say this to be a mirror to you, so that if life throws you some of these obstacles, maybe you'll pause and remember, this is not defining of you. This is not identifying your self-worth. This is just a moment and a space, and you can move forward. So I'll leave you with that, and enjoy your imperfect selves all the rest of the week. I will see you on Monday, dear friends. Stay warm.